and make us every bit whole. This morning, He wants to meet you where you're at. Where you're at today. No matter how big or how small your situation. Maybe you're going through a financial situation today, and you need a miracle from God. Maybe you need that mortgage payment. Maybe you need that rent. Maybe you need something else. God is willing to meet you. God is willing to set you free. This morning, for a little while, when Beth was speaking, I thought, uh-oh, she's taking half my sermon. But you know, it's true. We need to believe that God can do it. And stop doubting. And start accepting it. Start expecting it to happen. God is still on the throne. And He cares for His own. He cares for you this morning. Do you know that He's able to meet you? Do you know He's able to help you through that test that you're going to be taking in a couple of weeks, Trudy? Believe it. God sees you today as you are. I was a person in college and high school. I never really did real well in school. I was not one of these people that could remember a whole lot when it came to remembering test stuff. I got through. But I'll never forget. There were exactly 2 written exams that I ever really did well on in my life. The first exam was when I went to take a test for my license. First time in my life I ever could remember getting 100 on a test, something like that. The second test that I did well on was my ordination test. And the way I know I did well is because the way the ordination test, that when you're done, you go in and they'll tell you whether you've been ordained or not. They ask you questions about things that you might have gotten wrong. And they only asked me one question, and it was an interesting question. They said to me, Walt, how did you get an answer for number 14 or whatever? Nobody else could come up with an answer. How did you come up with an answer? And I said, what do you mean? They said, well, because the question was so ambiguous. I said, well, you've got to realize something. I've been teaching for many years. So what I did, as I saw the question before, saw the question answer after, and I said, wait a minute. You put these 2 together with that one, you can come up with an answer. And that's what I proceeded to do. They go, oh, okay. But it was funny because it was the only thing one time in my life, the 2 times in my life that I did well was on things that I had to do for ministry. And I know that it was because of God. God sees us as we are. And today He wants to meet you. Today He wants to give you victory. Today He wants to be that master that touches you this morning. If you're here today and you're going through anything, God wants to meet you. Beth, could you come to the piano, please? If you're here this morning and you've never asked Jesus Christ to come into your life, that's the most important thing. You can be healed of every disease there is, but if you don't know Jesus, it's not going to do you one bit of good that day when Jesus breaks through that eastern sky. This morning, if you need Jesus, I'm going to ask you just to bow your heads this morning.